It's 6:30.
Yes, call the meeting in order with the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay,
Chairman, in the order of any motions that need to be moved on, I'm moving that we use a hand vote for the approval of the agenda, the minutes, the next year's meeting date, and the annual financial report, and that we use a paper ballot for any possible motions to be considered for the new town hall or elected officials' pay schedule changes.
guess we need a second on that. Okay, you got a motion and a second. All in favor of using that procedure? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. So I guess it's your folks' meeting tonight, so if anybody wants to make motions or seconds, it's up to you.
I second it.
Okay, we got a motion, second to approve the agenda. All in favor?
But it's a hand vote. It's a
Hand vote, I'm sorry,
in favor.
in favor.
Okay. Against?
Opposed?
Okay.
No opposition, thank you. Okay, approval of our annual town minutes from April 15th, 2015.
No, not that long ago.
2025. I just lost 10 years, folks. I could use that 10 years too, so.
No, these are from last year's.
Last year.
Last year, or 10 years. They're paying attention to me.
I move to approve the minutes as presented. Second.
Okay, got a motion, a second? All in favor? Opposed? It's good. Thank you. All righty, moving on. We gotta approve the date for our next
Oh,
year. Pardon me.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Next year's annual meeting, which always has to be on the third Tuesday, so that'll be April 20th of 2027. And
I make a motion to approve the date of next year's meeting.
Second.
okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed? That sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, now I'll turn it over to you two for this.
So the 25 annual financial report, it basically starts off with letting you know what debts were from fire calls that were unpaid during the 2025 season. So some of those you could see were, the last three were October, November, December. So those, people do tend to pay late. I don't think we're ever going to collect on I think we determined, but,
Yeah, it's-
but anyway, some of those are still to be collected on. We hope to still collect a number of those, and we've been doing pretty good at getting back and getting the money, but this is just letting you know what's out there for unpaid fire calls from 2025. Any questions on that? All right, so we'll move on.
Are any of those on a monthly payment?
Yes, we do have, is it Rebecca Fingerson, I believe, is paying monthly
Through collections.
through a collection. Yeah, she's
It's our
been sent to collections
collectors.
and she's been paying, but that's the only one that is set up a payment plan, or, we do have some that do pay through a monthly or whatever, or set up payments with us, but no more of these have.
All right, so looking at our numbers from 2025, this is our budget versus actual in 2025. So just kind of highlight on those. So you'll see, like, for example, in the first one is our taxes that we have incoming from our budget. We budgeted 1.31746,432. We actually brought in 1.311,663. So very close there, a difference of 5,800 that we did not collect on, that we had outstanding taxes. Like I said, just going through kind of some of them, you'll see the next one very close with only a $2,000 difference. And that one we gained. We brought in a little bit more than we had budgeted for. Same on the licenses and permits. We brought in about $1,394 more than we had budgeted for. Big one there is the fire calls. As always, it's a shoot on what to budget for on that. So we did bring in a total of $18,242.45 more than we had anticipated for fire calls. And then another $6,019.25 more in interest than we had planned. So we had budgeted for 20,000 interest and we got 26. So good interest year again last year, bringing us to a total of $22,535.21 more than we had budgeted in. So we're ahead of budget on the income. Looking at the expenditures, tax settlements, they're very, very close to what we budgeted with only a $77.25 difference. Our general government, we were under budget by $2,137. Public safety, again, very right on to what we were expecting at with only $4.85 under budget. Public works, budgeted $233, only spent $229.82. So we were under budget, which that one's where like our roads and things fall into. We'll go through the details on what in 2025 versus 2024 here in a minute. But under budget, a little over $12,000 there. Again, very close in the health and human services and the capital outlay, leaving us under budget at $15,634.27. For a total then of being under budget, $30,000, $373.18. So that's kind of our carryover that we had left over from 2025 coming into 2026. Looking at those same numbers in 2025 comparison instead of to the budget, this time in comparison to what we did in 2024. So the very first one, tax credits and things, you'll see quite a big jump there. That's, as we all know, because of the school referendum and things, everyone's taxes went up. So we did bring in about $260,000 more in taxes in 2025 over 2024. Pretty close on the lottery and gaming credit, a little bit, about $1,000 difference there. And that's all dependent on the state and how much lottery is bought and all those types of things. So that money just comes based off of how the whole state does. Dog license collections, close again, few less in 2025 than 2024. August settlement, again, pretty similar. On the Intergovernmental revenues, very close there. Just again, kind of go through some of the highlights, the big ones, because they are pretty close from 24 to 25 until we get down to grants from the county or other government aid and reimbursement. So it's this 103,43710 at the bottom there. There's a big jump there. In 2024, we had incoming of 6,357, whereas in 2025, we had 59,146. The big thing there is the aid that we received for the culvert and bridge projects, where we did Monty Road and was there one other one?
Was it Dixon Road? Was it in there?
Dixon Road.
6,000 and the culvert would have been county bridge aid on Monty Road.
Right, perfect. So those are where that money comes from. Then license and permits, about the same. Building permits, driveway permits, all about really quite similar year over year. Big one there again, the fire receipts. We actually had, I don't know, 7,000-ish less in 2025 over 24. But again, this means that we had less fire bill, which is a good thing, right? Planning commission fees, we did have in 2025 a little over 1,500, where we didn't have any in 2024. Another good thing for the township. That just means we had more rezoning and building and things that we got the planning commission involved in helping get those put through. Let's see. So interest income again, we went down from 2024 to 2025, about $8,000-ish. But again, still at 25,000 in is pretty good, as we're kind of holding steady at the little bit higher numbers still. Yep, I think we'll go to the next page. So that's the overall, I guess the last one was on there for a total, which was on the bottom of the last page, sorry. So total for revenue in 2024 was 1.304, and total revenue in 2025 is 1.598. So again, the biggest jump there is because the taxes went up. But as you'll see, as we go into the expenditures, you have the exact same thing happen paying out. Unfortunately, that big jump doesn't come all to the township. We also had 776,000 that was paid out to the school versus the 551 in 2024. So that money that came in extra also went out extra. Let's see. So that kind of brings us down then. So overall for the tax settlements, again, what we paid out went up from 24 to 25 because of the difference in the taxes with the school referendum. Let's see, what did I have marked next? The general administration stayed pretty well the same, a little bit less in 2025 than 24. Financial administration, same thing, went down a little bit from 2024 to 2025, which a lot of that is our just office expenses and subscriptions and pay and all of that. The fire protection, there again, we paid out a little bit more in 2025 over 2024, but not a whole lot, from 41,204 to 47,134. For a total, I think we go to the next page yet. Then we go to the road work, so the public works. You'll see in 2024, we spent a significant amount, larger amount of money on roads. In 2024 over 2025, almost double there. That's mainly we had some holdover from 2023 that we've spent in 2024. We also reduced what we spent and budgeted in 2025 on the roads specifically because we did have to do the garbage and recycling for the first year. So we actually budgeted less. So we kind of did a lot of work in 2024 on the roads and then backed off a little bit in 2025. Bill would say a lot, but so we'll probably even back out or level back out on that now that the garbage collection has caught up, and we will then spend or put the money in for 2026. Let's see, so that brings us to a total for expenditures of 1.567889 over 1.402. Again, leaving us that same $30,373.18 under budget for 2025.
Well, no, not under budget, net revenue.
Or, I'm sorry, you're right. Net revenue, yes, you're right, sorry. All right, then the last page is just kind of a look at the bank accounts then, from 2024 to 2025. The very first one is just our general fund and community. In 2025, it ended at $500 because we did make that change in 2025 to hold most of our operating funds in the savings account instead of in the checking account, so that we are continually gaining interest on that. So you'll see that pretty much always that our checking account is held at $500. The savings account is then, like I said, where we keep most of our operating budget, and we try to bring that down to the lowest number at the end of the year, going into the new year fresh. So that is pretty well the same. Restricted fund and unrestricted funds, those are the LGIP trust account. That is our main savings. You'll see that it went from $519,715 in the end of 24 to the 554,796. So we did gain quite a bit of funds in the LGIP, which is where things like possible town halls and things will come from. It's about a $30,000 gain there from year over year. And at this time, the town has no debt. So that is everything.
And I think one thing I was going to point out was, I think it's important to see, like, at the end of 2024, we were at like 528,000, and at the end of 2025, we're at 558,000. So basically that $30,000 that Kelly talked about is just extra revenue. Not every year is like that, right? A lot of things happen throughout the year that change that. But some people have asked me, like, how did we accrue the money in the accounts that we have now? And it's things like that. Like, all of a sudden, we don't know what our fire calls are going to be like, and how much we're going to do, how much we're going to spend on roads. We just don't always know, and we have to always have money available. And so, but that's what it was last year. It was like a $30,000 net.
Any questions?
Could we have a motion to approve the annual financial report? Okay.
What's the name?
Very good.
Larry what?
Good.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion and second. All in favor? Any opposed?
I'm so not used to that.
Very good, thank you.
All right.
Okay, I guess that brings us down to the next item, which we're talking of new town hall. I guess we've been in this building since 1962. Some changes. Right now, it's pretty good in here, but sometimes you can't hear. When we move all of our stuff to our storage room, that monitor's been damaged twice already. We had to replace it once, and this one got some. So it's getting pretty crowded in there. And then when we want to vote, Mark and I have an hour and a half to move all the tables out and all the tables back in to vote there. And so we're looking to do something a little more convenient. I guess we're looking for input. Questions, comments? Yes, yes, sir.
First off, I want to thank Mark for walking me around on our last voting day, kind of showing me some of the things that were in question about storage and things that you've asked CISA about and have been denied, so I appreciate that. In our last town meeting, there were a couple items that were brought up by Mike Carney pertaining to discharging firearms, and that was twofold question. One was the DNR, one was from the county, and I think you had to check into the county clerk on shooting within a certain distance of a municipality?
Yeah, I checked with, Warden, what did I tell you his name was?
Oh, what is his name? Or DNR warden?
McCormick or?
Yeah, Pete McCormick.
Pete McCormick. I called and talked to him. And as long as, if, like Mike asked the question, if he's on his property, he can shoot right up to the fence line without any question, no, without worrying about the building, as long as he's on his property. If he comes over onto our property, he needs permission from us to shoot within 100 yards of our building. But even though it's a municipal building, and if he would go over on Raymond's property, he would just need permission from Raymond, and he can be within, as long as you have permission, like I said that night, if we gave him permission, he could open the back door and shoot out the back door. But as long as he's got permission to be there,
From a county standpoint?
from a county and a DNR standpoint, yeah. The DNR controls it, the county really doesn't have any ordinances against shooting per se. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean about the setback. I mean, if he's on his property, he can do what he wants, but a lot of times that 100-yard rule just applies specifically to, so if he can be 100 yards away from the building on his property, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, I could talk to the DNR, but I'm pretty sure once he comes up to the fence line, if the building is within 100 yards of the fence line, then he would have to, he wouldn't be able to shoot. He'd have to at least be 100 yards and on his property.
No, I specifically asked that question of Pete. I said, if he's, and right on his fence line and the building's only 50 feet from the fence line, can he shoot? And he said, as long as he's on his property, he can do whatever he wants.
What about his property? He's talking about his property being within 100 yards of his shed on his property.
As long as the person doing the shooting is on their own property, they can be right up to their property line, no matter, even if the building's right across the fence, they can still, as long as they're on their own property, they can do whatever they want to do. I specifically asked these questions just to make sure.
I guess it's the same as the school forest.
Yeah,
School forest, we all border the school forest. We can hunt right up to the edge of the school forest. We cannot hunt on the school forest. I mean, you can go in there, you can't, I think you might be able to archery hunt, but you can't rifle, you can't have a fire. But it's right up to that line and you can hunt.
yeah. As long as you're on your property, you can do what you want to do.
Worst case is he gets a written permission slip and he's covered.
Yeah, if the town would give him permission, he's covered anyway, yeah, it doesn't.
Can we give him one?
It would be a board decision, I mean, but I don't see any if somebody's offering you some land, I don't think you're gonna be too, hard-nosed about giving somebody permission to hunt next door.
Larry asked you a question.
Oh, Larry, did you
Where's
ever,
the land?
huh?
Where's the land from?
Raymond has been nice enough to offer us a little bit of land right there on his.
Where Gulf Range?
Oh, it's right at the southwest corner of my property where the hedgerow is, Mike Duck's shed is on the other side.
Okay. Right.
And I asked him if that goes through and everything's approved, build the building as far as to the northeast as they can, so it'll be as far away from his building as possible. And it should be over 200 feet away from his building, maybe 3. So, I mean, he's been in my family for, I don't know how many years, and I've never seen him up there.
My dad's the same way.
Is he?
I understand their thought.
Right, and everybody's got to look out for themselves. I mean, things change. We all know that.
What's the assumed cost?
Pardon?
What's the assumed cost?
Well, you want me to speak to that?
Go ahead.
We saw we're looking at building something very similar to what Town of Springville approved. And they're looking at, it's going to be someplace between $395,000 and $425,000. is what they think. They would tell you that they did all the bidding all wrong because they got no local contractors involved. And they wish they would have done it differently. We did get Kent Fish to draw up some assumptions, and he came in thinking it's going to be someplace maybe on the very high side, around 500,000, he thought. But it's my thought process that when we talked about like some of the door changes that we would make based upon Kent's plan and getting rid of some windows or whatever, I would think that we should be able to build something for around 375,000.
Is that stick built, pole shed? What kind of building are you talking about?
I don't think that it's not decided, but I mean, I would feel like a steel building, stick built is fine, but that's just my feeling.
He was probably going with stick built, and I've been trying to get just a ballpark figure like the Clary building on a steel building, and they don't even want to. I've been working on this for 2 months, and he won't even get back to me on it. Just, I mean, you can't actually ask for a price without putting it out for bids, but a guy could throw you a ballpark figure, and they don't. And Kent Fish seemed to think that anything under maybe like a 60 by 80 building, the smaller you go, the less economical they are in steel. They like to go with a big building with the big trusses and all this kind of stuff to make them more efficient. And yeah, Brandon.
Remember that night when he said he increased the average price for sewer driveway, he had it real amped up. Just for curiosity, I think he had like $30,000 down for our new possible septic system at the high end. So I talked to one of my customers who does septics, and he's thinking $9,000. So I mean, that's just one piece of the pie that he's over so much, and everybody's you think, oh, $500,000, come on.
Yeah.
We don't need that, but he had he left a lot of money on top,
Yeah.
just to be truthful. But I think there's plenty of, room to shave there.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, sir.
Was there like a draft drawn up with any ideas?
There's some plans over here on the table.
There's some plans there of what we were kind of looking, just as a rough draft. I don't know if anybody else wants to look at one. There's a couple other copies there.
It's a super simple building.
Basically, we're looking at a meeting room, 2 bathrooms. We can't, you'd think you guys could buy with a unisex bathroom in a building that size, but you gotta have 2 bathrooms. One room would be a fireproof storage room for records and voting equipment and things like that. And then there'd be one more storage room, an office. Then of course your utility mechanical room you'd have to have, and basically that's it. Pretty simple building. I think the plan he showed there, they put a hall somewhere down through the simple, that middle or just.
You need to come out of a small kitchen. When I looked at the plans, I didn't see it.
No.
Kitchenette.
Kitchenette. We haven't.
We're worried about, we're worried about codes and everything that you have to be compliant as soon as you start that mess.
Well, the only reason I suggested that, I kind of think if we're gonna have a building, that would be a nice, it doesn't have to be a commercial kitchen, but, a decent sink, a stove, or a refrigerator. If you're gonna have a building of this for the town, I think if we're gonna do it and we don't put a kitchenette in it from the start, we'll always wonder why and wish we would. And you'll never do it cheaper than when you're doing it now.
You wouldn't have to buy lunches for everybody.
I'm not sure we're gonna have any of our poll workers volunteer to cook for everybody. I know.
They did in the past.
Everybody used to bring a dish to pass.
I know, and it worked for years. And there was good food too. Pardon?
No swimming pool.
No swimming pool?
We kind of track the running around.
Well, we're gonna keep the sports to a bare minimum, I think, so. I guess when we looked at kitchen, I mean, especially if you get to where you gotta have grease traps and you end up with, other codes, that you get fire codes and things. I'm not, I guess we really haven't. People have asked, are you thinking you're gonna let you put the building out for weddings or anything? And I don't think we wanna get involved in these type of things. I mean, it won't be that big a building, and, anytime you get a group using your bathrooms and doing everything, you end up with more problems a lot of times than you gain out of it, so.
It could be an insurance.
How far off the road is this? I mean,
About like we are here, probably. Raymond? Ray, as far as being off the road, where you were picturing the building, it'd be about like we are here, distance from the road to the building,
Well, I think it's a little farther than that.
a little bit farther than that, but it wouldn't be a couple hundred feet,
I mean,
yeah.
I thought if you position the building on the northeast corner of the lot, facing the south, and you put the parking lot right in front of it, and then you put the septic and well towards the road, I think.
Yeah, and so you come in and make the turn and right to the parking lot.
Parking lot.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be very
I
far.
don't think you will need to have a horseshoe like this is.
No. Actually, you probably couldn't get a permit to do a horseshoe like this is anymore, because they don't want to get all these drivers.
Yeah, because we get too far from the crest of that driveway.
Yeah, the hill there.
Won't give you another driveway.
Right,
I think they're supposed to be 300 feet apart.
yeah,
That's the biggest reason that I put it that far south, because when I built my house, I wanted to put my driveway on the south edge of my woods and come up and then go into my house, but the county wouldn't allow it because it was too close to the crest of that hill, which is quite a ways.
yeah. I know what it is to have a driveway over the crest of the hill. Not very safe. Did that answer your question? I hope, sort of. No, here, I'll give you an answer. Not far,
It's pretty close right up by the road, yeah.
not far. Yes, sir.
So I know, right now, we obviously have the contract with the county. I drove by, happened to drive by Scott's in the town hall last week, and I saw they had a chain link spot in the back side of the building and a dumpster too sitting there. Would this be a deal where, if that ever ran out, we could plug a couple dumpsters in a little chain link square spot and have the rain drains on site?
No, I don't think Raymond would probably appreciate having, the drop-off point.
Too much shit flying around.
Yeah, and once you have this, if you don't monitor it, you get everything there. I know, it's a big deal we talked about that before we went with the garbage recycling, and if you get this, the town of Wysina called me here a while back and was asking about pickup and whatever. And it's costing them about $70,000 a year to operate that drop off they have for their town, which, that's all coming out of taxpayers' money, which actually computes out to a little bit more than what we're paying for the service right now, so. The time even though you drop it off there, the town still has to pay to haul it away. There's a tipping fee and all that kind of stuff. And then you have to have people man it and clean it up and kind of thing. So I don't think that would happen there, no, to be honest with you.
I don't think there's room.
Any other comments, questions?
Well, I hear the number 375, and I think it's a hell of a donation for the property that Amy's gonna give. So I make a motion the town elected resolve to authorize the town board to buy or acquire property and build a new town hall not to exceed $375,000. It's gonna be over 375, eh? No.
We need to find this before we get into discussion.
I guess.
He seconded it.
Who seconded it?
If we get a second on it, then we'll put some discussion on it and go back.
He was seconding it.
Oh, did he? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm sorry.
I
There
didn't
was
see who did, I just heard it.
Talking, okay.
Before he was talking a lot more than that, wasn't he?
we had the last time?
Yeah, about, we're talking 500,000 basically.
You can shave off.
Well, I think they need to shave off the engineering.
What if you can't build it for 375?
Yeah,
Then
that's,
you're stuck.
okay,
Well, that would be the thing, right? At that point, you would,
yes,
I think we need some hard figures here before we put a
Price
limit
on
on this.
yeah,
I don't think we have enough information.
I think, yeah,
the hard part with it is you can't get bids without knowing that we can proceed.
yeah, well,
But if you get a drawing, you can get a real close numbers.
right,
But you can't go by this and say, well, we're gonna modify this. You need some drawings to say, this is what we want, to get a true figure on what we're looking at.
Don't we have to have a vote to even?
yeah.
I was gonna say, the problem is
Spend that money to
that,
do that.
right, in order to get a drawing, you have to spend money because somebody's gonna want you to pay them to do it. And in order to do that, we have to have some kind of permission to move forward.
Yes.
It can do this one for free then?
Yeah.
Sure. What we did here is what we got.
Any more discussion on that motion?
Everybody should remember, we're getting a piece of land given here.
Yeah, but I guess what they're looking at, Jeff, is if we get the bids out there and we come in at 4, are we gonna not do it because we're 25,000 or? I guess that's what they're looking at as far as putting a cap of 375 on it, I guess.
What's the, I didn't hear any, is there like, are we digging with gravel for now or asphalt?
Well, that other bid had asphalt down. I mean, if we were close, we could, you could gravel for a few years until you could afford the blacktop. It doesn't have to be done. And of course, sometimes it's nice to leave it a year or two and let the base get settled before you throw the blacktop in on it. But, Brandon?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you know what? We talked about it last month, but if we don't do it now, what's gonna be in 15 or 20 years? Maybe my kids, your kids, or somebody's are here, or grandkids. It's already gone from, let's say, 150 grand, 15 years ago. It's gonna be outrageous, that's something
Yeah.
to think about. Everything's going up.
Yeah, they said that the price has doubled since 19. So we're talking 7 years, the price has doubled.
Sure.
Per square foot.
Because of COVID.
Yeah. And everything else that's going on.
Well,
I asked him to give us a little more leeway on it before.
Well, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's the board gonna approve it's gonna be worth it.
Right, well,
So, I mean,
It's just a cap, right?
we can vote, we have a motion in a second. We can vote this down and do a new motion if you want. But right now, we have a motion in a second.
But you could have it kept higher and then just, you still have the
If he
final
wants
choice
to
in the
amend
end
his
to do
motion to say more,
something.
we can.
Can we get quotes on that motion?
we can get, that would put us in.
If it's voted.
That gives us the
And then we just
ability.
come back,
Right.
No,
revisit.
well,
No,
we'd have to-
it
we'd
goes
have
to vote
come back-
first.
We'd have to come back to a special town meeting or in next year's annual.
So, Bill, I think it's a consensus from town that I don't think anybody's opposed to it.
Right.
I think what we all want to know is what it's going to cost. And I know that's tough, so what do we have to do here to allow the town to go ahead and get those numbers?
I think if we can get the numbers just by getting the consensus to go ahead,
But
But
I
we
mean,
need- but
then
then-
if we exceed those numbers, then,
then that's where we end up,
Then we would have to call a
We'd have to
special
have a
town
meeting.
meeting to ask for more.
right.
because I mean, I believe, I wasn't at the meetings to see the fluff that Ken had in there. But it's kind of hard to believe that there was 125,000 worth of it.
Hey, guys.
Right? So if we can keep that number, or we have, do what we have to do to let it proceed.
Yeah.
That number has to be elevated to 400, so be it, but I mean, I think we'd all look pretty foolish if we told you, here's our number and you're 5,000 over that, so it's dead.
Right, or we're 10,000 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, but I mean, to get this far along and go,
Right.
gee, we gotta kill this, so I guess, advice, what kind of motion can we put forward within reason to allow this to proceed?
We can go with the motion. Did you have something, Larry, quick?
I just forgot what it was.
If it comes up again, let me know. We can proceed with the motion we got, and if we get figures in and it comes in at 400,000 or 410,000, we could call another special meeting and bring you folks back in and re-vote on it.
What's this gonna have an effect on our mill rate in township? Or is this money set aside already?
Yeah, the money to build the building is in the account, to a point.
Yeah.
But we don't wanna spend $500,000 and be broke when
Yeah.
the tornado comes through or a flood comes through and takes all of the roads out. So, the money is here to a point.
Yeah.
And as far as any of the future expenditures, we cannot spend any more than what we use for a mill rate. We're froze, basically to the state back in 2000, I guess.
And it's still froze?
Yeah, it's still froze. And so we're operating with basically the same money we operated when you was on the board, Larry. And so anything that comes over and above, Raymond's gonna do the snow blowing and lawn mowing for the next 40 years. And so there's no cost there. There will be an electrical.
Until I'm not able, I didn't say anything about 40 years.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. And I mean, there'll be, Mark figured out some stuff last month. You'll have some cleaning, you'll have some, electric bill, you'll have heating bill, insurance, and that stuff we're all gonna have to work out of
the budget.
out of the
Normal
budget. Maybe we'll have to spend less on notebook paper or something, pencils, I don't know, but, it's something we would have to work out. And there was really, at this point, the only way we could get any more operating money is to come back to you folks and say, this is costing us, $10,000 a year more to operate than we can afford. Can we get you all to kick a little bit more in on your taxes, and you'd have to approve it. Otherwise, it's not gonna cost you a nickel more than it is.
How can you do that if you can't change the mill rate?
Well, we can change the mill rate if we get, town approval, elector approval.
We can change the levy,
Yeah, the levy.
the mill rate, we can't
Yeah.
touch. So we can change the levy with an approval of the town. Or we can do a special assessment with the approval of the town, of which we don't feel like we need to do either to do this project. Is there any, if the number at 375 that Jeff threw out isn't a comfortable number and somebody would be more comfortable with, like, say 400 or something, Jeff, are you comfortable in amending your motion to that? Dave, are you comfortable in amending your second at 400?
Well, I don't know, you get it 400 down, a second, you say, well, we can take 425, now we're dropping another.
Well, then, no, but at any point, any raise after what gets approved tonight wouldn't happen without your approval.
Yeah, I agree to that, I guess. I'd second that.
Okay. We're gonna do a paper vote on this?
Yes.
Okay. Going to help me in front of them all, just clear off, hand them down, go to the end of the row, maybe just go to the end of the row and hand the book down.
So we're just voting yes or no?
Yes or no?
This is just to go ahead, right?
Yes. I guess, go ahead.
Okay, I suppose we need to have two.
Yeah, I'll read it off before, I'll read off the motion before you vote. If you, yeah, just give me a second here. So Jeff, please confirm what I've written down here. My notes say, Jeff Thompson made a motion to resolve that the town board be authorized to buy or acquire land and build a new town hall not to exceed $400,000.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
If you think that's good, yes. If you think it's bad, no. You need to have ballot clerks.
Yep.
I should have done that. Do we ask for, to appoint somebody?
Kelly and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we should get somebody on.
Kind of my job as a clerk. Put them up? Okay. You guys want to count?
Gonna be ballot clerks? We might need it yet, huh? Depending on what we do on the
Oh, don't put them. Yeah, don't.
I already did.
Okay.
All right, I did not fill my own out. Did you fill one out?
I did. Did you fill it out?
I am right now. I guess I didn't need to fold it, huh? Yeah, probably.
I don't know, I see rain.
Well. Is this a blank one? I got a blank one.
Okay, you want to count?
Two blanks. Is that everybody? I don't know how many, 20, 30 people?
How many do you have?
5 and 2.
I don't know. I'm not going to go at this point.
Okay.
I don't know. I think somebody that just got 2
Oh,
ballots.
that could be 2.
All right, so the results of the vote were yes, 23 votes, no, 5.
So that looks pretty much a yes. Then. So I guess from here, we will try to get some numbers together and a plan to get somebody to draw us a plan. We'll have to determine where we're gonna get that done and move on from here, and we'll do the best to keep you posted. I guess moving on.
All right. So at the clerk's convention that I went to, one of the things that they recommended that at the annual meeting that you let your town people know how your officers are being paid. When I first got this job, I had no idea really how to pay any of the officers because I couldn't find anything in writing. And it turns out there should be a resolution on file that shows what your payments are and what your salaries are for your officers. So at the end of the day, I'd like to have a resolution created from this so that we know, and it's in the books and it's in writing, how much our officers are being paid. In that context, I went and got a hold of some area towns and just found out what the officer salaries are, just so you're kind of aware. The only time the officer salaries can be adjusted are through an annual meeting or a special electors meeting. And anything that happens at this meeting doesn't affect anything during this current term. It wouldn't affect the payroll of any of us. It would just affect the payroll of who gets elected in 2027. So the 2027 electors would take advantage of any pay. But anyway, that's currently the way each of us are being compensated. So if there was any questions, yeah, Gert.
Are any of those full-time?
Just Town of Pacific.
That is a full-time position?
That's a full-time position at Pacific, yeah.
The clerk.
Just the
Just the
clerk?
clerk.
Just the clerk?
Just the clerk, yeah.
I thought that was a typo.
Take into account Town Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
The power plant, the payments that they receive because of the power plant put them in a position where they have so much money, they can't hoard it, they have to spend it. And literally, that's why they have a 5-member board instead of a 3-member board. They need to spend that money because you're not legally, you can't legally hold it.
I thought they were running off.
What's it?
It's kind of running off.
Well, it will when the power plant shuts down.
Yeah, but
Well, I thought it stopped a few years
No,
back.
it shut down next
Oh, yeah.
they've got,
I tore those
and
just so we don't
I
get
kinda-
mixed with the new ones.
Few years ago.
Oh, yeah, the taxes are not much cheaper, but they've got, and I'm kind of speaking out of term here, but I know for a fact that they've got several $1 million in different accounts around that, but they can have this money because if their wells get contaminated because of that power plant, they can use this money to put a water system in for the town, and so they're able to accumulate this money and hold on to it for future use in case there is an environmental impact type thing out there. And so they have acquired a lot, but they've got a reason, and so they're taking care of it. But, otherwise, looks like I'm on the bottom end of the totem pole there almost. But anyway,
Not almost.
that's where we are. And what are we're looking for some kind of a,
No, it's just information.
information.
And if you did, as the town wanted to adjust any of the salaries, this is your time to do it. And if other than that, it's just for your information.
Well, that's kind of up to you to ask for a raise.
No.
no.
Well, I don't think you'll find any of us up here asking for a
I
raise.
think I've been sitting there about 30 years and I've never asked for one, and I never will. I kind of treat this as a civic responsibility, and we do it, and that's kind of the way it is. But,
Well, I was kind of wondering.
Yeah.
How much has it went up since I was here? I know Clark got it up once or twice, maybe.
yeah, he kind of got it bumped up.
I think the last time, I think 4 years ago, it went up, and it went up $500 for both the chairman and the supervisors. Maybe, was it 500 for you? And then my raise, I think, was 3,500.
So I can't see that chart. What are you thinking?
So I'll tell you that the chairman, Bill, makes $5,000 a year. Each of the supervisors make $3,000 a year. I make $12,000 a year, and Kelly makes $7,500 a year. And from my perspective, I mean, I'm not going to speak to what everybody does and doesn't do, but I would tell you that from the chairman's perspective, Bill works super hard. I know he's not asking for a raise, but he's way underpaid. And Kelly, now, one of the things you'll see in there, like when you look at Caledonia, they pay $20,000 a year to the clerk and $20,000 to the treasurer, but they have different responsibility levels. Like, for instance, they've shared more of the duties between the jobs than what we've currently done. And Kelly's, and when I took this on, I just did what Chris did, right? And just kept doing it. And I always kind of wondered, like, why am I handling fire call bills? And why am I, doing payroll and some of those things that I thought would have been a treasurer's responsibility, right? And Kelly's always been willing to. In fairness, she's always like, I'll do it if you want me to. And I'm like, I don't know who's supposed to be doing what. I know by state statute, I'm supposed to be handling all expenditures. She handles all assets, all the income, so that there's checks and balances, right? And then I check her accounts and she checks my accounts so that there's always balancing. But other responsibilities, other towns have shared more. And that probably dictates why the disparity is between Kelly and I because of the different responsibilities. But we're both willing to share more or do different, depending on what. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Big time.
for sure.
They're a giant township.
They are.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
And they have
they've
lots
got-
of businesses
Pacific
and
is the most populated, Caledonia is the largest.
Yeah,
Lewiston is the closest to us, but with more land base
right,
in terms of size of townships.
Right.
We're the smallest of,
right.
land mass wise.
I don't think there's anybody here asking for a raise. I'm just more so just telling you this is what it is. And if you wanted to do something, you could make a motion. Other than that, we can move on.
Okay, moving on, I guess we're down to citizen input on the agenda. Anybody got anything else we want to talk about?
I noticed you're out by my house with, was it a county person looking at my culvert? What are your plans there? What are you gonna do to the road or?
We're going to crack fill and chip seal that road from CM to Monty.
The road's not that bad though.
Up on your end and beyond, it's really cracking. I think it's only been 4 years, and I think we had some bum blacktop up there. If we don't chip seal it pretty soon, it's gonna start breaking up on us. And I'm not happy about it because we're gonna spend pretty near 65,000 on that road that we just spent 100.
We just can't seal those cracks.
The bigger cross cracks, the crack filling guys will fill, and then the seal coat will cover all that alligator stuff that's happening between Kay's place and CM. And then we got some down in the low there that's doing the same thing. I've got a lot of roads that are a lot older than that needs more work, but we don't wanna lose that. Guys and I, we did a tour with the crack filling guy and went over some of these things, and the blacktop we get today has got so many shingles and regrown rubber and things in it that we don't get any 20-year road life anymore. Actually, the state recommends that the year after you overlay a new road that you seal coat it the next year already, which none of our budgets stand that kind of a. And on that note, I guess we are overlaying Fox River Road from CM to F to the swamp. We're using that as an LRIP project, which is money coming from the state. So the project is about 92,000, and we're getting about not quite 14,000 out of the LRIP project. So we're in there at 70-some thousand for it.
So are you putting in a new culvert underneath the road there?
No, we looked at it
It's
and
gonna be.
we think it'll last a little while. It hasn't caved in yet.
But I should state that none of this is, the town board hasn't approved this
No.
road work he's talking
Well,
about.
yeah, this
It'll
one.
come up at May.
This one where the overlay on Fox River Road has been approved.
Oh, that has, but the Wilcox Road work will be discussed at the May meeting.
That'll be discussed, but we kind of looked at it at another, agenda meeting back, I don't know when it was, last month. Anyway.
Don't talk about what you did outside of work.
No, that was agenda, it was agenda. Yes,
Were you looking for us to approve that pay schedule? Were you looking for us to up it? Or
It was
are you
whatever
just
you,
presenting it?
yes.
it's for your information to decide what you want to do with it, if nothing at all. I would like, if nothing else, I need to have a resolution in the books to say this is what the town is resolving to pay the officers. So if I could at least, even if you don't want to change the pay, if you would just make a motion to that resolve, that would be wonderful.
Mark, can you go back to those numbers for that?
But you mean there's nothing in the books about that?
Nothing, no, there's no resolution on, based upon telling us what we're supposed to be getting paid.
So how did it ever come about, any?
Well, based upon what it always was, is what I was told. You just pay what we always been paying. And then 4 years ago, there was action taken at this town board meeting to give some raises. But at the end of the day, I was a very new clerk, and I didn't realize that there should have been a resolution in our books resolving to that. It was nothing more than a board motion, and I didn't know better. So there is no resolution from when we were, other than there was a motion and a second and a vote to change the wage, and that's how it happened, but there's no resolution.
But there should have been a resolution well before that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, what? All it states is this is what we resolved to pay our officers for the, basically starting in the 27 election term, right? And then it'll be that until the next annual meeting when you guys decide to change it or don't. Yep. And and that resolution stays until you decide to change it.
Yes, sir.
I move that we pass a resolution to have it written in the books just as it is.
You got a motion and a second? We can do a hand vote on this, kind of.
We already
Not
made a
by the
motion
way-
to
Oh,
raise.
not by the way not by the way.
But we're not changing the pay,
No.
so I think we're okay with, if all we're gonna do is create a resolution, I think we're okay with a hand vote on that.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Looks good.
Okay.
Thank you. All righty, did we have anything else under citizen input? Anybody, any of the town they wanted to look at?
Well, I don't know much to say about our roads, they're pretty good. All the roads are terrible. Including the county.
Yeah,
The county road, you can't even drive on them. Yeah, all the way from Mount Olive. One hill after another. Yeah, I know.
yeah, the roads are an issue for all of us. And, dollars don't go far, and every year they
Very good.
go less distance. But,
That motion.
I'm sorry.
Very good.
And
Yes.
then, did you say something about announcements on here?
I don't have any.
You don't have any announcements? Oh, yes, go ahead.
Did we decide, I was here for that one meeting where you talked about spraying the roads, the size of the roads versus having
weed.
county mow? And at that time, it was about the same dollar wise. Have we made any decision? We're just gonna keep the mowing?
No, we're gonna spray first round.
What is that?
I rode today with the supervisor today, when the dandelions all come up overall with a head, it's time to spray.
What are you spraying it with?
It's gonna be a growth inhibitor. It's not a chemical to kill, it's just supposed to basically hold the growth down so that you don't get this 4-foot grass before we mow, and then we mow it, then it gets 4 foot again before we mow it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the growth inhibitor will keep the length at a foot or someplace on the lower end, and this is gonna be more of a long-term effect. The first year, hopefully, we see benefit, and the second year, it should be better.
What's in it?
I'd have to get you a MSDS sheet.
Is it toxic? Is it?
It's not supposed to be out. If anybody wants a sheet from it, I'll have to get a hold of the county and get it sent to you.
I would like one, but we had a history with us losing a dog.
Yeah.
And I swear it was from.
Well, I thought about you and I was gonna ask for one today and then I didn't get it thought, but I'll call them and get it. And then, you'll get Mark's email, or you have on the website, right? We'll put that up on the website and everybody can have a, so that everybody knows what's in it. Yes, sir. It's supposed to be at about the same price.
So where are you getting?
Well, the gain is hopefully we don't go from 4-foot grass where you can't see, then we knock it down and then you come back to 4 foot again. Hopefully you hold the grass here.
Well, you're gonna have 4 foot before the second cut.
Well, we hope not.
Well, you will.
Well,
Because Arctic County did that back here. They got over 4 foot grass before the second cut.
It's an experiment for us and we'll see. And if you're right, I hope you're not, but I hope you're not, but you probably are.
Well, I see them in my own eyes.
Okay. And there,
Sometimes you can't believe everything you see.
So you've already voted on it, that's what.
yeah, that's where we're headed.
And this, whatever, as far as you know, it's not toxic for that.
I can't guarantee you that. I'll have to get you the sheet and we'll have to make that determination. Yes, sir.
Out of it, have sprayed on your property.
Yeah.
I guess along your lawn area, they would,
So they will skip ours because we don't.
yeah, I would think along your lawn property will. I'll have to make sure of that.
I would say you probably have to ask them, last time they sprayed, they sprayed the yard. Is my.
Well, we've never used it before here.
No, not, I'm saying other sprays.
Okay.
They typically, I don't think stop, they just go and spray the road, so you'd have to ask them.
We'll have to, if it's being mowed by the landowner, not to spray it, yes.
Yeah, because they mow my ditch.
You guys mow the
They
whole,
do this big rough, because I have it all
yeah, I know that.
mowed. See, so does mine.
You have to be out there and talk to them. They're coming basically, that's all our comments.
Anything else that we got?
So you anticipate basically May?
I would say yes.
The county give them the township of credit for mowing our ditch.
No, but they charge by the hour, so we don't get charged for it. When they go past half mile past my place, they pick the mower up and go, you know, and they think they would do that on yours until the second pass, where they're getting up on the ditches.
Still gonna be, that's line,
The last pass, yeah, we're still gonna mow the last pass out there. Yeah, we're doing everything. Essentially, put the 2 mowers on 1 tractor every year, we're mowing north, all roads out to the supposed right of way, but they always leave that little bit on the end.
Something under resources, I would think.
Otherwise, if we have nothing else, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So
Second, all in favor? Opposed? Guess we can go home. I appreciate everybody coming.
Well, I gotta
Thank you
update
for your
the
input.
town meeting one too.
Yeah.